What's going on, everybody? I'm Jerry, and today we got my Week 9 takeaways. Just like every other week, going over biggest news, biggest losers, winners from all the games this week, and just a quick recap of every single game. I've also got some fun facts, and I go over a lot of the NFL leaders. Interesting information closer to the end of the video, so stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Starting off, we had first game, Thursday Night Football, Titans Steelers. I got this one wrong. I thought the Titans could do it, and I was wrong. I was buying into the Will Levis hype. The Titans struggled really early. The Steelers had their number. Titans themselves couldn't really get much pressure, and they couldn't find the end zone. They had a lot of opportunities towards the end of the game to drive down the field and score. And the only reason they scored at the beginning too, I think it was their first offensive drive. The Steelers defense had 6 penalties. Titans offense only got 24 yards actually moving down the field, and they ended up getting a field goal out of it. But yeah, the Steelers pretty much all game had Levis's number. He started to heat up towards the end, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And Titans end up losing. I put the Steelers finally ran the ball well. You have a great game from Jalen Warren, and then Najee Harris didn't play horrible. He still just kind of played average, but he did well. And then I put so many penalties. Obviously, that was kind of more from that first drive when defensive drive when they had 6 on defense, and was not great for them. Ended up having like 10 total, so it wasn't great. But the Titans couldn't convert on third down either. I couldn't find end zone. That was the case too. But 3 for 13 on third down isn't going to help you much either. So the Steelers end up taking down the Titans 20-16 with that bend but don't break defense. All the field goals was really 3 field goals for the Titans was really where most of their points came from there. So pretty good Thursday night football game. But moving on to Frankfurt, Germany. We have Dolphins Chiefs. I got this one wrong too. I thought maybe the Dolphins offense was going to be too much for the Chiefs defense with questions if Nick Bolton was going to play. I just thought Dolphins could do it. I know if you checked out my video, my contenders or pretenders list or video, I have the Dolphins in the pretenders. Seems dumb to have them winning the game if I think they're the pretenders, but the offense just got locked up early. Tua was making some bad throws. They also had some poor timed penalties on offense and defense that really hurt, whether it helps the Chiefs get a first down or ruins a drive for the Dolphins. That really wasn't great early, but they had a lot of opportunities to win later in the game. Mahomes fumbled, and it looked like Dolphins could come back. There was a big late hit on Tua by Chris Jones and that went from 3rd and 20 that Tua had to a touchdown on that drive. So the Dolphins didn't make the comeback like they needed to. I think again they had plenty of opportunities to win. Mahomes did all right. Second half, the Chiefs only had 59 yards of offense, so that was not great. I put for the takeaways for the Chiefs, they had the quick score right at the beginning, and then in the next 3 drives, they had 9 yards total. Obviously, they ended up getting to 21 points, but there was a lot of scrambling from Mahomes, not finding open receivers, and it worked. He made it work. He's great navigating the pocket, as he usually is, and getting outside and just making plays with his legs. And then the second half, Chiefs only had 59 total yards, so not great there either. Dolphins, again, just couldn't really find the end zone. They had plenty of chances to win, especially with the couple mistakes from Mahomes at the end, and couldn't make it happen. I put, where's Kelsey? Because Taylor Swift wasn't there. Kelsey gets 3 receptions for 14 yards, so very impressive that the Chiefs can take down the Dolphins despite Kelsey not having a good game. Just goes to show that good players can empower or create or show talent of maybe average receivers or talent around them. So Chiefs go on to win 21-14. Again, great game showing that they can win without Kelsey having a great day. Next we have This game, absolute blowout, which it was a punt fest early. There wasn't a whole lot going on early on. I think it was like both of their first 2 or 3 drives were all just ended in punts. I put Geno Folds under pressure because he's kind of showing some of his weaknesses, having the fumble, having the interception. Did not do great. Defense didn't help, letting up 37. After the punt fest that happened early, the Ravens went up 14, and they never really let the Seahawks get it back. I think it was 14-3 then, and obviously you see the final was 3-37. So wasn't really much else there. And then I had to put the stats just on the screen there. 6 first downs, 1 for 12 on third for the Seahawks. I mean, how do you expect to even be close in a game where you only get 6 first downs? So absolutely brutal for them. Got mutilated. And again, if you check out my Contenders and Pretenders video, everything this week that happened, I did record that before this week. Everything was pretty accurate. So check that out. See what you think. See if if you did watch it already, maybe you were wrong. Maybe you thought I was wrong, but everything was pretty much on the money. So that was good to see. Like I said, Ravens went up early, and then we got to see Keaton Mitchell at the end. I said, who knew they had their running back? Because, there's all the questions. Oh, J.K. Dobbins gets injured again. And then, is Gus Edwards going to be able to do it? And Justice Hill comes in. And then they have Keaton Mitchell come in and get 138 yards on 9 carries. So for the whole team, I think the Ravens almost had like 300 yards rushing. It was just nuts. Whereas Kenneth Walker ends up getting 9 carries for 16 yards and has an awful game. So it's a great game for the Ravens. Absolutely dominating a good Seahawks team so far this year. 37-3. I was wrong again. I did predict the Ravens would win, just wrong against the spread. This is another one where I just put in the stats right on the. I have my notes, but I just put the stats right on here because the Cardinals had 9 3-and-outs, and their longest drive was 6 plays for 27 yards. They had like 2 4-play drives, and I think a 5-play drive, and then their 6-play drive. And that was their longest. I just put Looney Tune because it makes too much sense to just Clayton Tune is I mean, I know it's his first game and it's against the Browns. It'd be easy to overreact. It brings me back, being a Bears fan, to 2021, Justin Fields' first game against the Browns, where he had 1 net passing yard and probably I think it was about 58, maybe about 60 total yards for the whole offense. So that can happen playing against a team like the Browns with a guy like Myles Garrett. But in the end, the Cardinals just get absolutely smoked. Browns were dominant on defense. They allowed 58 total yards. And it was an easy comeback game for Watson, for him to, he's been out and kind of been injured. And he had some good plays. He had a nice pass to Amari Cooper. Well, it ended up in Amari Cooper's hands. He got tipped at the line, ends up going to Amari Cooper, and then David Njoku had a nice touchdown too. But mainly a defensive game for the Browns. And they ended up taking down the Cardinals 27-0. I think we knew that they were going to win, and I did predict them to win. I just thought the Cardinals would cover. I honestly I guess I've been disrespecting Josh Dobbs, or who I've been liking to call Bob Dobbs. His real first name is Robert, and Bob Dobbs is a lot more fun to say, or Bobby Dobbs, whatever you like. But yeah, I kind of thought that maybe the Cardinals, just with the coaching and with some of the talent on the team, maybe they were just able to find ways to stay in games. But really, especially with Bob Dobbs coming in and looking like a solid quarterback for the Vikings, I guess that goes to show that he did mean a lot to that team. And they're definitely going to be asking for Kyler Murray to come back to see what he's going to be. So Browns take down the Cardinals 27-0. Here we have the Buccaneers-Texans. This game was amazing. This game was it was so fun to watch. Lots of scoring. I mean, my notes, even just the takeaways on the screen there, is very reminiscent of a high-scoring game. Both defense weren't really prepared. Defense struggled on the Texans. Had to put in the bad Shaq Barrett roughing call. Was not roughing the passer. Don't really like that. They said the reasoning was because he went low, but he was really just falling down. And I think the refs really need to bring intent onto onto the reasoning for penalties, because it was very clear that it was not intentional that he was going for his legs. He was falling down and happened to fall by the leg of the quarterback. So that can't be a penalty. I'm not saying that as an excuse. It's just another poor situation for reffing. The Buccaneers have their great final drive on offense where they end up getting in the end zone. They think they've won. There's not much time left. C.J. Stroud's gotta be the guy and gotta do what he's been doing, especially early on in the season, and he did. He has a historic day. 470 yards, rookie record, and it was capped off with the game-winning drive. Again, I put the Shaq Barrett roughing call. You don't like to see that, but it happens, and that's what happened. Again, don't want that to take away from C.J. Stroud's great day. Ended up with 3 receivers with 100 yards and, 2 receivers and a tight end and a touchdown. So Nico Collins, or was it Nico Collins? No, it was Tank Dell and Noah Brown both had 100 yards, as well as Dalton Schultz. They all had a touchdown. I believe Tank Dell had 2. So phenomenal game, just spreading the ball around, getting it to all these guys who we didn't really think were going to be anything. Nico Collins, didn't hear about him much at all last year. And Tank Dell, knew he could be good, but wouldn't expect much from a rookie receiver coming from a rookie quarterback with a new coach. But they're all really putting it together. So Texans take down the Buccaneers 39-37 and get the win. Next we have the Vikings-Falcons. This one, another great game. I want to just highlight first, Jaren Hall started off. He played well. And I think he makes a case, with the signing of Dobbs and with him coming in and win the game. I think it puts Minnesota in a bit of a tough spot on who you want to pick at quarterback, because you want to obviously play Jaren Hall. He's the younger guy that you drafted, and you probably want to see from him. But now the Vikings are 5-4 with getting this win. So you kind of have to be careful. Do you keep playing Dobbs and hope for a chance at a playoff run, or do you play Jaren Hall so you can see what he is? You're going to have to sign Dobbs to a contract, but it's likely going to be a lower contract. So do you play Jaren Hall in hopes that you can still make it to the playoffs and maybe see if Hall can be that guy and then get Dobbs on a cheaper contract, or what do you do there? But Dobbs looked great. He struggled at first, as you would. He was practicing the cadence on the sideline with the center and the rest of the offensive line because he literally didn't know some of the guys' names. Similar story to like the Baker Mayfield story coming to the Rams last year. And, he got signed, and then I think that was a Thursday night game that he played. So even less time to prepare, comes in and wins the game for him. So, I think it's great for Dobbs. And we'll have to see what happens moving forward. I put the struggles because he fumbled 3 times early on, lost 2 of them, and could have been part of the reason they lost the game. Instead, makes all the big plays at the right time, ends up getting the win. I put O'Connell for Coach of the Year because I think he was kind of snubbed of it last year, coming in, being a new coach of a team that was very consistently like 7-10 to 10-7, and having O'Connell, they go 13-4 last year. Yeah, 13-4. So I think he kind of got snubbed for Brian Daboll and the Giants, who now is not doing very well at all. So I think he should be, if he's not, he should be a Coach of the Year candidate, especially after a game like this, just showing that his offense can work well. They don't have Justin Jefferson. Their run game has been not very good at all. Cam Akers is out, and they still come in facing all this adversity and win the game. Moving on to the Falcons, I put Algier as a tank. I know everybody wants to see Bijan Robinson and technically ran the ball more efficiently, but I think Algier is just such a weapon, and seeing some of the plays that he made and falling forward for extra yards was just awesome. Falcons couldn't contain the scramble. I don't think that's something that they planned for at all, whether it be Jaren Hall, even though he's pretty mobile, or Dobbs. Dobbs had like 7 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown, and he was scrambling when he needed to. And again, because I don't think Falcons were able to prepare for it, it made it a big mismatch. And then I just put the offense miss Drake London. I think Heineke would have looked better with him. Leading receiver was Jonnu Smith, which I think is kind of wrong too. I mean, you got Bijan Robinson not getting a majority of the touches, and you have Kyle Pitts, who has been a great tight end, not getting the majority of the receptions, between him and Jonnu Smith. So I think, and they're passing to Jonnu Smith in ways that you could just pass to Kyle Pitts. So I don't know what the deal is there. Maybe I'm missing something, but doesn't matter because the Vikings go on to take down the Falcons 31-28. Next game we have the Rams Packers. I was wrong about this one. A lot of people when they do picks, they like to say, well, I'll take the Rams if Matt Stafford plays. Otherwise, I'm taking the Packers. I don't like doing that. I like to just pick it. I'm sure my record would look better if I did that. And maybe if it gets really bad, I'll do that next season or something. But pick the Rams thinking Stafford would play. I definitely think they would have won. Just battered with injuries. Brett Ripien, not going to be the guy. Stafford's got to be the quarterback over there. And that's why I put they need a competent quarterback. And then I put, who is Royce Freeman? Because I saw him in the game. He got more touches than Darrell Henderson. I don't understand what the point in that was. I did not see much of this game. So if he got injured, that's on me. Don't know why he got more touches. I did remember, I looked him up and then I remembered that he had Royce Freeman. I put, who is Royce Freeman? Because he had a short stint with the Broncos and somehow ended up on the Rams and got majority of the carries this game. So that game was just kind of a mess to me. I don't see what that was. I put Love always spread the ball around because I like seeing that from a quarterback. You never know who he's going to pass to. You don't have a favorite. Obviously, you want to get the ball to the playmakers, but they don't have one specific playmaker over there in Green Bay. I still thought they didn't look great. Like their defense obviously looked like they played well, but they didn't really get any pressure, which I don't know, you would kind of expect it in a low experience quarterback like Ripien that just has never been great. I don't see how they didn't do better. Not that this needed to be more of a blowout. I mean, they won 20-3, but it was at home. And I didn't think their defense played very well for being who they were going up against. And I didn't even think their offense really looked great. Just with, the running the ball was better, but they ran the ball a lot because they were up so much. And although Jordan Love spread the ball around well, they didn't have any big plays. And I guess you don't need a big play, but I don't know. That's why I just put the win doesn't mean much to me. I don't think that the Packers are going to go on some run. I think it's pretty clear that the division is going to be Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears in that order. So doesn't mean much to me. Packers get the win over the Rams, but I'm still not impressed. Commanders, Patriots. I put Sam Howell slinging it again. I mean, he slings it every week. Every week I'm doing the NFL leaders list, and he's up there every single week. Commanders couldn't get any pressure throughout the game with the edges gone. No sacks. I don't even know if they had more than like 2 or 3 pressures. Mac Jones had the time, but he was still throwing inaccurate passes. Ramondre Stevenson ran well, just not enough. He averaged like 9 yards a carry, but he only got like 9 carries. So I don't know why we weren't giving him the ball more. It was a fairly close game, so it wasn't like the Patriots were down a whole lot the whole game and had to come back. So it was tough to watch. I didn't love the play calling. Mac Jones had a couple overthrows. There was a 4th and 3 early on that he threw. It was, I can't remember if it was like a short out or a drag route, but he overthrew it. It's just an easy pass you can't miss. Maybe it was a running back, like a swing route or something, but you can't miss those passes. And then there was the pass at the end that gets tipped and ends up getting picked, and then the Commanders go on to win. Another very efficient on 3rd down. Like to see out of Sam Howell is 9 for 17 on 3rd down. So good to see there. Commanders get a win. Again, I don't know if this one really means that much either, just because I don't think the Commanders are really going anywhere. Nice, I guess, progress moving forward, and Commanders are going to need some defense and probably some help on that offensive line, and maybe a true RB1 with Brian Robinson and Gibson being that kind of dual threat. Not really a threat though. They haven't really been that great this year. So I think you probably learn. You just continue to learn that Sam Howell's just going to be a gunslinger and he's good at it. I say it every week, but kind of reminds me of Matt Stafford, and I do like it. He's got the weapons around him, so good for the Commanders. I think they have a bright future ahead despite a lot of question marks, whether it be the coaching staff or your defensive line now. You still have Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne, but you don't have your two edge rushers, so they're going to have to patch that up. Probably add some more defensive pieces, maybe some offensive line. So, but there is some bright spots again with the quarterback and the weapons. So, Commanders end up beating the Patriots 20-17 in Foxborough. This game, this was tough to watch in the second half. Again, being a Bears fan, Bagent to Kmet connection was real early on. Two beautiful passes, probably one of the catches of the week. Actually, no, the Keenan Allen one that just happened this Monday night here was probably the catch of the week. But Cole Kmet had a phenomenal catch over the Honey Badger. So it was good play there. Great pass by Bagent. He had another one, just kind of lofted it up over the defense to Kmet. Those were both beautiful passes. Had a bad DJ Moore drop. It's a tough ball nonetheless, but Bagent bombs it to the corner, and I think the ball pretty much perfectly placed. It's just DJ Moore has to jump up in double coverage and gets his hands on the ball, but can't hang on to it. And we don't know if he would have gotten his feet in, but that was kind of a pivotal moment in the game because right there, your Bears lost by a touchdown at the end, so you at least tie in the score there. Cairo Santos misses a field goal. Granted, Saints missed a field goal too. So a lot of opportunities for the Bears to win, especially with how the defense played in the second half. So I don't know if they had ever recorded a stat like this before, but every single play that was ran in the second half was in the Bears territory. Or, in the Saints territory. No. Every play that was ran in the second half, it was in the Saints territory. So the Saints, when they had the ball, they had a short field, almost in field goal range, right out the gate. Couldn't even get a single field goal. So that's where the defense played well. They gave Bagent like 4 or 5 opportunities to win the game, and he just threw 2 picks. He fumbled and wasn't able to do it in the end. I think some of the picks, like there was the one to Mooney, ball was a little bit behind. I think Mooney could have come to that ball. You got to help. I mean, he's still an undrafted free agent, out of D2. I feel like you got to help out your quarterback there and come to the ball. I don't think that ball was too bad. It's a tight window throw. Saints run a lot of man defense and man coverage, and they have good cornerbacks over there. So you're going to have to throw some tight window balls there. Bagent can't do it is the point. Bagent's scrambling, though, this game. He had like 8 carries for 70 yards, so he was moving, making a lot of good decisions. Again, there was a couple. He threw a pick into triple coverage. He threw the one, again, to Mooney, where tight window throw. I don't really blame that one on him very much, but there was another one to Tyler Scott where it was just way behind him. Not great. I think I'm going to make a video on the Bears, just because I have a lot of thoughts. So stay tuned for that. Probably sometime this week we'll get a Bears video out. Saints came back and didn't give it up. So Bears went up early, scoring those couple touchdowns to Kmet, and then the Saints just came back and they never gave it up. Offense did absolutely nothing in the second half, and gave them plenty of opportunities to lose. But the defense ends up winning the game for them with the 3 interceptions, the fumble by Bagent, fumble by DJ Moore too. Didn't even mention that. DJ Moore had a pretty bad fumble early on, and I saw listening to the CHGO podcast, I guess there was on that play, DJ Moore was adjusting his glove before the play started. He caught the ball, and you could see that his glove still wasn't on right, and that was the play where he ended up fumbling. So don't know why we can't just get our gloves put on properly before the play, but seems like that could have been part of the reason that all that happened. But either way, I'll quit. I'll quit griping about the Bears. The Saints win, and the Bears end up covering. I just can't seem to get the Bears right. So here we go again. But lose against the spread. Got the pick right at least. Saints win 24-17 in a close one. Closer than it probably should have been. Next we have Colts Panthers. Kenny Moore out of Ohio State. Phenomenal week. 2 pick sixes from Kenny Moore. Never see that. And that ended up being the reason that the Colts win the game. Bryce lost the game. A lot of penalties, 10 for like 80 yards. And I put the defense showed up because even if you just look at it stat-wise, they shut down the Colts run, who with Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor have been one of the more dominant run attacks in the league this year. And then Gardner Minshew had like 125 passing yards. But because of those 2 picks, I mean, that's literally the difference in the score was two touchdowns. So if you don't get those, or even if Panthers get 1 field goal out of one of those 2 drives, you're talking 16-13. Panthers are winning. So Bryce Young really screwed the pooch there. That's why I put offense kind of struggled all around. I was just talking about that. Lost the game statistically. For all you box score bandits, you would be like, how the hell did the Colts win this game? Because the Panthers outplayed them aside from the 2 picks, or 3 picks from Bryce Young, but two pick sixes. So Bryce Young loses the game. Got a lot of developing to do. Doesn't have much help. He's really just got Thielen. Chuba Hubbard ran the ball pretty well, but you got Chuba, Miles Sanders, Adam Thielen, and even none of those are really elite talents. Adam Thielen showed out, but he's not going to be your wide receiver of the future. If anything, he's going to help this year, maybe the next year, probably teach younger wide receivers a lot, but they're going to need a lot more help. Colts win 27-13 and actually get a pick right. This one I got completely wrong. I thought the Raiders were going to be in shambles because of everything going on with the coaching staff getting fired. They're going to play Aiden O'Connell, who didn't look good when he came in. Danny Dimes goes down again and really screws the whole thing. You have Tommy DeVito come in and wasn't able to do much. I put they should have ran more because Saquon Barkley ran the ball very efficiently again. But I get it. I mean, he's got to be tired. He had 36 carries last week. I think he still had 20 this week. So, he ran the ball a lot. But with Tommy DeVito in there, I feel like, he's not going to be great. So you got to give this ball to Saquon more. He's your best player on offense. And the Giants are done. I think Danny Dimes, obviously, if he's healthy, he's going to come back. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case, or at least maybe it will. But Tommy DeVito is not going to be the answer. Don't know when Tyrod Taylor's coming out. I don't know if are they going to sign a quarterback? Like, are they just all of a sudden going to get Carson Wentz? I don't think so, because it's not like they're in any rush to win. It just seems like they're probably going to go tank mode, and I don't know if you go for a quarterback. I don't know how you do that with Daniel Jones' contract, especially with his play and now not being able to stay healthy. So it's tough there. Josh Jacobs has a solid day. Nothing crazy, just under 4 yards a carry. A lot of touches, though, 2 touchdowns, about 100 yards. So Max Crosby lived in the backfield along with a lot of the other Raiders defensive linemen, 8 sacks for the whole team. Crosby having 3 of them, 3 TFLs. So good game for him. And I heard the whole team earned the win. I mean, Aiden O'Connell threw the ball well enough. Good completion percentage, like 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's all you can ask for in a rookie quarterback filling in when he wasn't really supposed to. Again, Josh Jacobs had a solid day. The defense completely shut down the Giants, who, once DeVito comes in, you kind of expect it. But still, I mean, it was just all around. There wasn't any single player that was the reason the Raiders scored 30. Devontae Adams didn't even really have a good game again. So Raiders win 30-6. Big game for them. Again, I was wrong. Thought the Giants and their good defensive play recently would have helped them, but that was not the case. Cowboys-Eagles. I predict the Cowboys score exactly. I predicted they would score 23 points. Love when I do that. Unfortunately, I did not predict. I was really hoping they'd get that 2-point conversion so I could at least get the push on the spread there with the 3-point spread. But that's okay. I get another spread wrong. And then the Cowboys just kind of showed they need their defense to play well to win. Although the offense played well, Dak had like 350 yards, most of which were to CeeDee Lamb, but Jalen Tolbert made some nice plays, had a nice touchdown. Jake Ferguson's filled in well at tight end, which I love to see, being that Wisconsin guy, big Wisconsin fan. So nice to see him filling in and doing well. Dalton Schultz also had a good week this week for the Texans, but they don't seem to be missing him much with how Jake Ferguson's been playing. And that's why I put offense did look good to Lamb because he was most of the offense. I think 11 or 12 receptions for 191 was most of what Dak was throwing there. But they had a lot of chances to win towards the end. And throughout the game, DeAndre Swift fumbles twice. Jalen Hurts fumbled once, and they both get right back on the ball. So, you take advantage of shots there. And then especially at the end of the game, Dak takes a bad sack at the end. There's a questionable roughing the passer call on Reddick I didn't really like. That really shouldn't have been there. Lots of penalties for both teams. Both teams with 10-plus penalties for 70-plus yards. But the Eagles ended up making the plays when it counted most and when they needed to. And they proved that they're still a juggernaut, beating a team like the Cowboys, where I had been talking week in and week out that they need their defense to play good to win because their offense is bad. And although I was partially right that they need their defense to play good to win, their offense outplayed the Eagles this game. And you could argue that their defense outplayed the Eagles in this game too. But just because of situational penalties and situational, just times when they can't convert, Eagles end up coming up with the win over the Cowboys, 28-23. And I miss again. This one I got right, though, finally. Bills-Bengals. The Allen turnovers are catching up to him. He throws bad interception. He runs the ball very aggressively, and you love to see it, the passion from him. But he's got to be kicking himself at sometimes, especially with the interceptions. You're going to have – this could have been a game where you get a win. Run game is still irrelevant. Josh Allen continues to be the best rusher on the team. James Cook not really doing very much. Would have been nice to see him add a running back, unless they could miraculously find it in their running back room like the Ravens did with Keaton Mitchell. But the Bengals were getting good pressure all game despite not having many sacks. They were just keeping the pressure on Josh Allen and helping him force throw an interception, which I believe he's thrown an interception in the last 9 games that he's played. No good for him. I think that's every game this season, yeah. But no run game. Dalton Kincaid's been a weapon, though, the last 2 weeks. I think they're going to find a lot of ways to use him, even when Dawson Knox comes back, whether it be a receiver. There was talk about that coming out of Utah. So like to see that upside with Kincaid there. Bengals go up early for the against the Bills and never really give it back. I saw a lot of good scrambling from Joe Burrow. Good to see that his ankle's all healed up. So good for him there. Love seeing the scrambling and like the improvisational plays, kind of like Mahomes was making this week. And we even saw Bajent and Dobbs, a lot of efficient scrambling this week. Even Josh Allen in this game. But Burrow, you haven't seen much of it prior, so it's cool to see that. And then I already mentioned that there was great pressure on the defense. But the Bengals string together a bunch of good drives and end up winning the game 24-18, covering that measly 1.5 point spread. Going on to this night, this game was awful to watch. This game, super sloppy game, bad offense on both sides. Manningcast really made this game fun. I did not enjoy this game except listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger and some of the other guests that came on. So that was fun. But the game was not fun whatsoever. A very defensive game. Chargers scoring off of a turnover. Breece Hall was really a non-factor for the Jets. Would have liked to see more out of him because Jets went down early and then decided that they just had to pass the whole game. And Zach Wilson was just getting pressured all game and never really had a chance. I thought that being in New York, they would have a chance. That's why I picked them to cover the spread. I actually picked them to win too. But because the Jets defense had been playing so well. And, they just needed their offense to do okay, and I thought that could have been the case for this game. Team just fell apart. Keenan Allen, again, I said I had the catch of the week. All sorts of sacks for the Chargers, too. So, great game from them. They end up winning Monday Night Football 27-6, and take down the Jets there. We got our Week 9 leaders, and we have the fun facts as well. Let's start on the left. You can read all those off. Ones to highlight, we talked about Stroud, 470, 147.8 passer rating. Keaton Mitchell leading the league in rushing for the week, or for Week 9, 138 on only 9 carries. Josh Jacobs had 98 on 26. Keaton Mitchell just kind of went off. CeeDee Lamb takes the receptions and receiving yards for the second straight week. Last week having 12 for 158. This week 11 for 191. TJ Edwards makes it into the only slot that the Bears can really ever make it on here, into the tackles category, which I still think is kind of useless, even though I put it in there every week. And we just talked about Max Crosby, 3 sacks, 3 TFLs. In the color blue, not the right color. Should have made it silver. That's on me. I apologize. Most offensive yards was the Ravens by a lot, actually. I think the next closest was like mid 400s for total yards. Least yards allowed was the Browns, allowing 58 yards on the Cardinals. And then most takeaways was the Saints with 5. You had three interceptions by Bagent, a fumble, and DJ Moore fumble. Fun facts, we have after the Texas Rangers won the World Series, the Atlanta Falcons became the oldest American team to never win a championship. Tua is 11-12 versus Super Bowl winning coaches. 11-2 is that number, not 12. He was 11-1 prior, so obviously Andy Reid takes him down this time over there in Germany. And then CJ Stroud, we've talked about it a couple times, breaks the rookie record for yards in a game with 470. And that is why he is the NFL I'm Jerry player. Whoop! Who is it? Dare Ogunbowale? Dare Ogunbowale, the I'm Jerry player of the week? Yeah, that's a big psych. It's definitely CJ Stroud, 30 for 42, 71.4 completion percentage. You can read the stats. I don't need to read them to you. Just look. That's a phenomenal game for a career. Like that will be probably one of the best games of his career. Maybe he'll hit 505 one day, but it's just flawless to have almost a 72 completion percentage on 42 passes for 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I don't get how that passer rating isn't 158.3. I guess I don't know how that works. But game-winning drive, just phenomenal game. It looks like CJ Stroud just loves the fans. He talks about his family a lot, and it just seems like a great quarterback and a great core. Obviously, the run game hasn't been great. Dameon Pierce out this week, and Singletary having to fill in, and didn't really fill in very well. But, the emergence of Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz. Again, Dameon Pierce, still a powerful running back, hasn't been great this year, but the defense, Larry Tunsil, let's not forget to mention him. The defense led by DeMeco Ryans, who has been good, although it wasn't great this week against, to me, a average Buccaneers offense, but lot of upside for the Houston Texans. I had been moving them down my power rankings, but they'll definitely be moving back up with this win. But that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if I missed anything, if there's any big plays. And stay tuned for my picks video coming out. And have a great day.